One new IBO. And I'm going to repeat that one more time. For every well-run home meeting, you should sign up one new IBO. Now, some of you might be sitting here going, well, I did a meeting last week and nobody signed up. Well, somebody else did a meeting last week and signed up 3 people. It's called an average. And when I say well-run meeting, you're going to get that by the end of tonight's training. What is the definition of a well-run home meeting? Now, not only is he a regional vice president, but he's also a professional soccer player. Now, how many of us agree, big commitment to become a professional in soccer? Was able to bring that commitment over to his business today. He's having a tremendous amount of success. Let's just show him a Pittsburgh welcome if we could. Put your hands together. Regional Vice President.
All right, guys, good evening. How is everyone? Great. Can we give a big round of applause to Mr. Patrick Major? You know, it's interesting as I reflect back, and I think back to the very first day that I met him. It was actually over a phone call by a kid in my soccer school. Did a 3-way conference call with Senior Vice President Patrick Major. I was down in Charlotte running our soccer company, and Patrick at the time was in Detroit, Michigan, and the vision that he casted on what was possible just messed up my sleeping pattern. I mean, it had me thinking big again, had me getting out of my own way, to just wondering, man, is this guy, is he the real deal? Is what he's saying going to actually happen? And is it possible? And then when he told me he was going to help me, who here just likes the fact that there's someone that's been there, done it, had success, willing to help you do it along the way? It's not you go do it, it's let's go do it. And you know, I continue to be enamored and blown away by not just his success one year or once upon a time, but who here would agree, anyone can have a fluke year. Anyone can kind of accidentally win a championship, but to do it back to back to back, now 8 years in a row, do you guys realize the authors of the system, the #1 system, meaning the #1 way to do ACN globally, the authors are here today with us. You and I have access to the people that wrote the playbook that now is being celebrated, not just within ACN, but in the entire network marketing industry. So, can we give him a proper appreciation for all he's done? You know, sometimes you just kind of get blessed and grateful to fall within the same, or within the right organization within ACN. ACN is a great company, don't get me wrong, I love the company, love the owners, but there is a big delta difference in what team you get on. Here, you guys and me, we get to be on the #1 team in the world, and what I want to talk about here is how to maximize the system. Right? Would you agree that it's one thing to know about the system, it's one thing to know how to do the system, but to really implement the system and have success, we all want to make money, right? No one signed up to be a volunteer.
No.
Okay? And so let's talk about the compensation. If you look at the screen, obviously there's multiple ways that you and I make money. Now long term, who here else, outside of me, got involved in ACN for residual income? We all did, right? But we know it's going to take a minute for that to grow. So if you look at the screen, the 2 main ways that we make money, residual income and bonuses. First thing I'm going to talk about is what a lot of you guys are very familiar with. But one thing you have to understand about this leadership class on Friday night, that this is not just designed for you and I to sharpen our knives and to get some insights. This is also to make sure that we're in a position when we're out in the field, when someone says to you or me, right, maybe in a follow-up call or maybe after a PBR, if they say, hey Eric, how do I make that 10%? Okay, if you look at them like an alien, can we agree you lost all credibility? All because you didn't take the time to have the discipline to learn what is right now the best compensation plan in all of multi-level marketing. So if you're taking notes, great, but I'm telling you, learn this compensation plan, it'll motivate you. Teach this compensation plan, you'll motivate your team. Okay? If you look at the first thing, 1 to 29 points, we know that's going to pay you out 1% commissions. Okay? That means between you and everybody, you know, you go out and assemble a personal customer base of up to 29 points, you get 1%. Now this has nothing to do with what your team does. This is what you personally do. Okay? If you look here at 30 to 39 points, that's 3%, 40 to 59, 5%, and 60 plus, 10%. Okay? Now when I talk to people kind of high level, right, at PBRs or in follow-up about how to get to 10%, would you agree if I start rattling off points and this many points equals this much commission, I just create a lot of confusion. So I just simplify and say, listen, it's about 20 to 25 bills that you acquire, you're now going to make 10%. Okay, does this help everybody on the left? Yes. Okay, understand that this, look, I love, here's my #1 reason why I love doing lots of PBRs. is because if you and I have the focus and the discipline to turn the nose in the customers, we'll organically get our 60 points. Does that make sense? I mean, look at people in the room. Who here has 60 plus points yourself? Over 100 people.
Not quite, 93.
93. Where's Cam? How many points do you have, Cam?
92, catching up to you, Paul.
Wow. Look, but if you ask these guys, how did they get that many points? You know, they did it. They turned every single no into a customer. Right? I know sometimes in mindset training on Saturday, we say the yeses build your business, the nos build you. Right? But let's adjust that. The yeses build your business, the nos build your residual. Right? So can we all do just a great job this week and upcoming PBRs of taking every single person that says no to joining your team, making them a what? A customer. Okay? Now on the right side, here's the other reason why we want to attack 60 points. Write that in your notes. Attack 60 points. Okay? If you look at the right side, the other reason why we want to have 60 personal points is because it also dictates, right, it's directly correlated to how much overriding commission you make. I mean, literally, I've had people on my team that are hovering right around like 58, 59 points. And you can see there's a huge difference from 5% to 10%. In overriding, look, if you have 59 points, you understand that you're only getting paid through 6 levels. Who here wants to get 8% just on your 7th level? Okay? So make it a goal. I mean, I just like, for me, it's almost like getting good at anything in life, right? If you want to get stronger, if you want to get more fit, want to eat better, it's not all going to happen in one day. But I believe with everything in me, based on this being a very highly driven PBR system, if we just get very good at turning the nose into customers, you can knock the 60 points out literally in 30 to 45 days. Okay? Now, the second thing I want to talk about, obviously, is what releases the bonus. See, one thing Senior VP Pat and Mike Nazer taught me 7.5 years ago, they said, Eric, the bigger the bonus, the bigger the deposit in the long-term residual. Everyone get that? Who here loves bonuses? You and I like it because it's instant money, it's right away, it's money that we can enjoy on the spot almost, okay? But really, what you have to, I want to kind of shift your thinking, is when you get a bonus, get excited, get fired up, use it, invest it back in your business, right? But also realize that that big bonus represents a big deposit in what one day will become a very large, impactful residual income. Now you can see here on the screen, what pays out that bonus that week, as long as you're qualified by Wednesday, is you getting 5 points. 3 services with 1 outside the house. Now, quick trivia for the new people. Can all the services come from outside the house?
Yes.
Yes, right? I mean, there's no self-consumption requirement, but as you hear on Saturday, we want to be a product of the product. Okay? So if you look at the screen, right away, speed of the qualification. I learned this from one of my mentors, Patrick Mazer, a few years ago. He said, look, you know, if you want to get momentum, who here wants crazy momentum? Here's one for your notes. The car that wins the race is the one that's about to flip. Right? Now, how you get that crazy momentum is having fast qualifications. Look at this board here. I want to show you something. I think this will help everybody. If we draw an ETT, okay, it's you and 2, right? Everyone's got their 5 points. This represents ETT. Yes? Okay. Let's just pretend we're about to start a new month, and let's just pretend that we focus and we're very, very good PBR bookers. Okay? That's a skill, by the way. Okay? Write that down. I want to become a great PBR booker. If you do nothing else right but do that, you realize that your business will take care of itself. Okay? So if you look here at just a 4-week cycle, a month cycle, if this guy comes to your team, we know instantly that week he must do a PBR, right? And as we heard from Senior VP Pat Nazer, every well-run PBR is going to yield 1 rep. Okay? This person does the same thing. Comes to Saturday training, books their home meeting, books a 72-hour call, you made their list, you role-played the script, everything went right, clipboards were done, no pets, no distractions, and they get a rep. Now let's go to the second week of the month. Okay? Now this person and this person in your team are not yet a ETT, right? So doesn't it just make sense that they should go back and do a second PBR? Now that second PBR, they're also going to get 1 rep, right? So if you look at the screen here, now we know their rep did their first meeting and got a rep. You see what's happening? Okay. Now, how many, ideally, right? How many legs do you want to be running on your quest to RVP? 4. Right now, if this is you, how many legs do you have on your team? 2. So what now? Your 3rd week in the business. Who here would agree that you're much better with the invitation script? Okay. So you want to go back and do another PBR to get that 3rd and 4th leg going. Now we're in the 3rd week of the month. Does everybody see what's happening here? We're building. We're getting the raw material. We're getting this airplane off the ground through the PBR model. taking care of every PBR, treating it like gold, treating it like the Super Bowl. And there's your month. Who here would love to have this be your month for the month of August? Do you realize that's so doable? Just becoming disciplined at the system. So let's add them up. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So let's say at the end of the month of August, you as an ETT had 16 reps doing your business. Who here is fired up? Right? Everybody's going to Detroit. Everyone's doing PBRs. You're starting to break new presenters. Now, what would that pay you? Okay? Here's the beauty of this business. As they get qualified, AC is going to release you a bonus. Okay? If you look here at this screen, every time you break an ETT, when an application goes into the system, it latches on to the nearest upline ETT. This is really important to understand, okay? So let's say Patrick joins my team. Patrick, raise your hand. He joins my team. When that application goes into the system, it literally finds the nearest ETT and sticks to that person. Follow me on this? Okay, so from the time he gets qualified to the time the bonus is paid out, there could be multiple ETTs that break, multiple ETTs that get promoted. But when does it matter in terms of who the nearest upline ETT is? When the application goes into the system. So when this guy signs up down here, technically, in this scenario, who's the nearest upline ETT? This person way up here. You follow me on that? So now my job as the upline ETT is to what? Produce more ETTs. Everyone follow me? This compensation plan I've been waiting 7.5 years for. Right? Mr. Mazer, you agree with that? I mean, it's we literally didn't sleep in San Jose thinking when we saw grown men crying in San Jose that have been doing ACN for 20 years because of this compensation plan. So as an upline ETT, here's why ACN did it. Because they realized giving you and I the financial incentive to help someone new come on board and create success, have a victory out of the gates, they're going to give you and I $250. Making sense? So we have people right now, just over the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, that have 6 and 7 people that will hit ETT in their first month. Now do the math on that. Let's say that in the month of August, you as an ETT help 5 other people go ETT. How much bonus money is that?
1750.
$12.50. Who here would love to make $12.50 in the month of August? Okay, about 5 of us. So if you look at this screen here, this is why I want everyone to write this on your notebook. Sprint, Mad Dash, All Out Assault to ETL. Here's why. If you look at the screen, as an ETL, if you help someone go ETT in their first 30 days, okay, AC is going to give you the $250 plus $100 a person when they get qualified for $550. So think about this, right? Not just because all of us here have great hearts and we love people and we want to help other people win, but financially, think about what's on the table. I help Christian Rocco, signs up with my team, okay? And I'm an ETL. He signs up, the application goes into the system, it travels upline. I'm not just the ETL, but I'm also the nearest upline ETT. You with me so far? And my only job is to obsess, to not sleep until I help him do what? Go ETT. Right? I mean, literally, in my opinion, ETT is the new qualification. Right? Instead of thinking about how can I get Alejandra qualified, instead I need to be thinking what? How can I help her go ETT? So as an ETL, when Christian Rocco goes ETT, what did I make? $250 plus $100 per person, which is $300 for a total of $550. Now, we have some people, Lacey and some other folks in the room here, that are going to help 8, 9, 10 people as an ETL go ETT in their first month. Now, what's 10 times 550?
55.
Who here would love to make $5,500 in the month of August? Do you realize this is available? Like 6 weeks ago, this conversation wasn't even exist. This is what I don't think the co-founders could even dream of something this big themselves until they really started doing the math, thinking, man, how can we motivate people to help other people make money? Okay, so everyone write down sprint to ETL as fast as possible, but here's the big one. All right, right here. This is why this position of team coordinator is so celebrated. This is why you see people speak from the big stage. This is why they offer President's Club trips when you're a team coordinator. This is why you see team coordinators up here crying when they get promoted. They're not crying over Verizon. They're not crying because of Duquesne Light. You know why they're crying? This. Now do the math on that. You put, in this example, you just signed up 10 people. Now, Lacey, how many people joined your team last month?
49.
49 people. Okay, so 49 people joined her team. Now, unfortunately, she's only an ETL. Now, had she been a team coordinator, what would she have made?
Under 10 grand, or 10 grand, just under 10.
What's 49 times 200? $9,800. Who here wants to make $9,800 in the month of August? Did you realize what's available? Okay. Now, if you add on to that, I mean that's just the team coordinator bonus. What if she's the upline ETT? Right? What's your name? Devin. What if Devin joins her team and there's no ETT between Lacey and Devin? Do you see what happens now? So now she also gets the $250 bonus. Jared Baxter, same thing. Another guy at Johnstown, killing it. Should be team coordinator in the next month and a half. Do you guys understand the money that's available? So, look, here's the point beyond the point. Okay? If you go back to the basic fundamentals, anytime that I've been doing ACN in the 7.5 years, as long as I became fanatical about booking PBRs and coaching PBRs, the compensation plan always paid in my favor. Anytime I got worried about this person or that person or anything other than booking a home meeting, the compensation plan was quite frankly irrelevant. Does it make sense? Mm-hmm. So if you're confused and you're wondering, man, I still don't understand if I'm a team coordinator, they sign up and there's an ETT, look, here's my response. Book another home meeting. You know, I used to call Senior Vice President Mike Mazer up my first year in the business when we just hit team coordinator, we're doing really well, for us making a lot of money. I mean, we never made less than 17 grand a month as team coordinators ever, okay? And I would call him up and be like, Mike, I got a really big problem. And then this person wants to quit or this person doesn't want to have a PBR. He goes, Eric, we have a bigger problem. You don't have enough PBRs this week. Mike, you don't understand. There's a really big issue happening right now. This guy's talking all kinds of, Eric, we have a bigger problem. You need more home meetings. Has everyone seen the point here? If you just get radical about booking home meetings, here's why. That's where your pearls are found. That's where the success stories are found. That's where the future RVPs are discovered, in home meetings. Okay? Any questions, guys? Is it making sense?
Yeah.
Just helping everybody?
Awesome.
Okay? Look, it comes down to this. Just like Tony Dungy, one of my favorite authors and favorite coaches of all time, you know, he wrote a book called Quiet Strength. And in that book, he said, there's no extraordinary people. There's only ordinary people that learn how to do simple things extraordinarily well. Do you understand that? This is a business of basics. What do we really do? We invite people to come over to a PBR. We get them signed up. We get them to Saturday training, and we get them qualified, and we repeat the process. And when you get really, really good at that process, number one, here two things happen. One, you're making money, and other people are making money. Who here wants to make a lot of money, and along the way help a lot of other people make money? That's the name of the game here, folks. Okay? So I hope that helped. Look, it's a simple concept, and then obviously we're talking, Mike Mason and I were talking about this earlier. Everything's about RVP. Do you realize that there's people hitting RVP in a third of the time now than 5-6 years ago?
Yes, sir.
Did you realize that people's incomes are doubling and tripling? Why? Because of gas and electric. Why? Because of the compensation plan. So if you look at the screen here, there's really no more motivation than what's on the screen than to go RVP. It's because you get paid on your entire organization. By show of hands, who here has a team that goes below 7 levels? And look, over the next 6 months, you're going to have organizations that go 50, 60, 80, 90 levels. Who wants to get paid in your 91st level? 5 of us. That's awesome. Okay. All of us, right? Here, RVP. You have to go RVP to do that. But guys, listen, I appreciate your time today. I really do. I will tell you this. As I talk to the Mazer brothers and as I talk to the co-founders and other big-time leaders in ACN, I've never heard the excitement and the authentic passion like this. I mean, even back in 2010, 11, when we were on The Apprentice, and I mean, just doing some crazy numbers. Even back then, even though that was an awesome time period in a season of ACN, that excitement pales in comparison to right now. I mean, there's never been a better time to be in ACN than right now. I'd be going after every top person because, look, the bottom line is the guy or gal with the biggest team, can we agree, will have the biggest customer base. Right. And we've never seen, look, some of you in this room would not have done ACN 5-6 years ago. We weren't big enough. The income availability wasn't there, now it's there. So One way to maximize this is not just to book another home meeting, but to go after every top person. You know what's interesting about A players? A players appreciate the compensation plan more than anybody else. When I talk to people at the top 0.5% of the economic ladder, and I show them the ACM comp plan, I mean, they almost cry. They're out of their minds because they have something to compare it to. So guys, I appreciate your time. I'm going to get myself out of the way and break up.